just replaced.
Well, I thought you were going to play some music.
No. I'd make you get your guitar out and start singing.
If you have a guitar, I'll do that before the night's over. That's not a big deal.
Okay, so that's something we certainly want to get to eventually. Gary's,
I'm sorry I handed you the watch. We've really gone downhill since I showed you that watch, Chuck.
off season. We'll get good shit out of you like off season, and I want to talk about your circuits. I think I have drills in there.
Well, I figured you didn't want the off-season thing on there because I thought that was one of the things that we didn't want to talk about in front of film.
That's okay.
I mean, we just, anyway. Okay. All right. Should we talk about slide a little bit right now?
That's fine. I think it would be better before we talk slide if we
Okay.
go into when we start talking coverage because I think
Okay.
that ties
All right,
into
let's
it.
do
What
that
kind of,
then.
wait, back 1 second. What kind of adjustments are you making up front? Like if you have a wing or something?
Okay.
You know?
That's good. Good question.
I got all those down there. Trade, tap, wing, slot,
Trade, he told us what you're going to, you don't re-kick it or anything.
big and small splits.
Trade, you just play what you,
Yeah, we just play.
you don't reset the three technique or anything, right? Yeah.
And really, we might as well go into it. We also have other fronts.
Yeah, you got the
Double threes,
outlaw.
outlaw is double threes, and Tim is, that is more of a one-back call.
Double threes, yeah.
Two tight end, one back.
Mhm.
And Tim is more, well, it could be any time, but we'll use a lot against four wideouts when you don't know, on a first down when people are running the inside zone stuff.
Tim is a,
Double twos.
Gary, will they stem to anything? Will
Yeah, that's all they do is, all this stuff is moving to it at the last
they
minute.
always line up in something, or they just move around?
Just move around. There's not like 4 and 4 guys work together.
Okay. So it's not synchronized.
No.
You just tell him that three technique. He can be doing this. He can be lining up in a three and shifting to a two, and
Oh, yeah. And you'll get this in the spring. They'll start clear over here in a shade and a 5, and then they'll roll technique over to a 3 and a G.
they'll do
Yeah, when we're screwing around. I mean, you want to, again though, when you let them do that when they're down in your cans and stuff, they have a good time with it and they think about it more.
Tim is 2 twos.
Correct.
But playing the same way as 6 does?
Yes. No different than a G plays a regular 2.
So the 2 eyes, or are they
Two eyes.
head up? Okay,
Now, where's
two
the
eyes.
Yeah.
thing like this from the first?
Again, you can aim and twirl and do everything else out of that call,
Yeah,
just like outlaw.
but you call. Yeah, you can do the same thing, right?
So if you did a twirl and it was a Liz call,
Yeah, you loop, yeah, and slant, yeah.
you just end up, the read side got a loop and the other guy's a slant. Whereas in a tight G look, they're both loop techniques.
Yeah. Now Tim is a front, or you'd add that to field?
No.
Tim, or,
Yeah, field G Tim.
but outlaw, you wouldn't say it.
No, just outlaw would be by itself.
What you could put Tim by itself, couldn't you?
Well, you could you could.
Is there any reason?
But the
you wouldn't?
here's the kicker for us is we call it, you could call split G Tim. You wanted the 3 technique and the G on a certain side.
Oh, okay.
Just like, well, you can do the same thing with outlaw. You can call split G outlaw.
Yeah. Okay.
But it wouldn't be split G, it would be just split outlaw.
Right. Right.
You wouldn't need to call the G because you're not playing the G, it's a split outlaw.
So you add the front call if you want the tackle to a certain side.
Correct. And really, sometimes that's what it comes down to. Where do we want the good 3 technique playing?
We run, it's been pretty good for us, particularly against trap teams. We run what we call a gate from 2 twos. We both slant to the V of the neck of the center. And it's great against zone teams too. As the backside guys, if the center goes here, he's coming right off his ass right there. And if it's a pass set, we turn it into a twist.
Yeah, you run that with a 5 and a 9 though, doing 2, don't you? Which you're better with that.
Yeah.
With it. In fact, Mark, before I came to New Mexico, when they were a weak eagle team, they did that quite a bit and caused them a lot of problems with it.
Sure,
They played both on the center. They wouldn't play on the guards. They both played on the center.
Yeah, we both
No, and it's a good idea.
Yeah, but you'd have to have, you're saying you'd like a 5 to the tight end side.
Yeah, you wouldn't. I don't think you'd like to have it both on the center with that and a 6.
Yeah.
But again, we're going to get into a power call. I'm going to talk to you about a power call in a
Okay.
minute, which means we're going to play a 5.
Okay.
That's
Nine.
that's
Tight squeeze.
Solid,
no, that's our
solid.
powers.
Yeah.
When the linebacker's going to play 9 and when the
But you
five
could be a
takes-
split eagle on the other side, right?
yeah.
So you'd be a 9, a 5, a shade, a 3, a 5.
No, we never reduce down. It's always on the tight end side that we do that.
No.
Meaning, when I call power, it's always going to be a safety telling a tight end. We would never play an end down in the 3.
No, no. That tackle would be in a 3 technique over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this tackle over here could be a shade.
Yes, it could.
Yeah.
But again, for me, power doesn't mean anything. Power's just talking to safety. I could call that power call a split,
With
tight,
anything.
field, and boundary. Don't matter.
Okay.
Power's going to come with the coverage. It's not going to come with the front. I'm going to yell power. I'm going to signal power to
And
the
he
coverage.
moves the end
He
down.
moves the end
Yes.
down.
Okay.
So again, we're not going to mess with the
So
front
it could be-
6.
Okay, gotcha.
I mean, it could
So
be.
one time it would be squeeze, another time it's split,
Well, yeah. I
another
mean,
time it's
obviously tight. I mean, they don't like it when you can move down late to this.
Yeah. See,
This
we
guy
had-
starts here and see.
we had great success with that front right there.
Well, that's a hard. I mean,
Three
can't
and
much.
five.
There's not much you can do to a tight end side or a tight end running team if they're a 3, 5, and a 9, because they can't double the 3.
Right. Well, they
On
do.
a- they can, but-
Teams do double the 3 against us, and our 5, so that
It's
frees up the 5.
edge.
Yeah. Yeah.
okay. So we talked about trade, right? And then how about if the tight end
Uh-huh.
gets up and taps across, Gary, and you're in a you're in a 6 technique to begin with.
We don't care.
Okay.
And we
You
make
slide back
we
down?
make what we call a tango call, because our offense is doing it this spring. You're going to see it. And what we're telling the end on the opposite side, this end's going to stand up. It doesn't matter what front we're in.
Okay.
Okay. Let's just say it's a tight call right now, so we got a 3 technique tight G.
Okay.
This end's going to see the guy off. He's going to see tango, tango to the other end, and what we're going to play against them is we're going to loosen up and we're going to play a loose 6,
Okay.
because we know there's a great chance he
You
comes
said
across.
this guy's going to stand up though?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, he's just when he comes up, he sees the guy off. Tango, tango. He sees this guy standing up.
All right.
The tight end's
The
off
guy
the ball.
lined up and then step back, he'd yell tango, tango, tango.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. And that guy's going to widen on the other side. Only
Yeah.
affects the other end.
And again, that's a game plan, but that's what we use at this point.
Okay.
It may be somebody that we don't want to do that to, and we'll keep the guy down tight. But right now, that's what we're doing against our offensive spring.
The next thing I got here would be slot, which that is right there, a tight slot. So he's going to treat him just like he's on the line of scrimmage and
Yeah.
trim of his
Less
alignment.
time.
And if he came across in a kick-out path to the end, he would fill it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
just like it was a tackle pulling.
A wing doesn't really affect you because you're a
But if he was in, I'm
right?
sorry, Chuck. If he comes in motion across, and stops at like the tackle, and then tries to kick you out, am I going to come underneath him?
Yeah, if it comes and this guy stops and he
Yeah,
tries to do
yeah,
this to him, I'm
yeah.
going to come underneath him.
Okay.
Okay.
If they line up in a wing, the first thing we will do is that end will move to a 9. He will move outside shade on the
Throw
tight.
blast?
No, he will just, if you come over and you line up in a wing, if you just started right here, he will line up on the outside shade.
Regardless of what's inside of him?
Start right off the bat. First thing we'll do, that's what he's going to do.
Okay.
What are you going? Because you could have double bubble in there.
Yeah, and you could have we have a slide, and usually you can get big and everything else.
Let's just say you got that tackle there's not in a 3, he's in a shade. He would have got a G
Well,
call to begin with, a
yeah.
loose call.
Yeah, we'd be like this.
Okay, so now you got,
Now you got to remember, always when you do it, you're going to have people out with it. But if we're getting hurt inside, all you have to do to it again is, I'm just saying, first base way we do it, he'll line up and outside. If you're getting hurt inside, then you tell him no, we're not going to do it.
okay,
So he moves right back in. But the first way, that is the first way that we're going to do that.
okay. How about with your tackles and your Gs, if you're getting big splits in there? What are your split rules?
Inside, on the tackles,
Like, say I'm a tackle and I'm a 3 technique and my guard's really split away from the center.
not really anything, because no one will ever do it to us. Because we run our linebackers through too much.
Okay.
I mean, only people we get it from is Rice, I
And
guess.
for
is my
small
point.
splits, I was wondering, like you do with your 9 technique, if it's a wide, if he's wide, I'm tightened. If he's tight, I'm wider.
Yeah, in that case, like if we were one back,
Uh-huh.
they were one back and you're getting wider, then you're not going to get us, you're
You're
going
not
to get
going
it.
to keep getting on the tip.
The wider you get, if you get the wider tip, the heavier technique I'm going to play. If that's what you're asking me, that is exactly what
Okay.
you're going to get.
All right, now, erase that and draw this up. You got, give me a tight end,
Mm-hmm.
a guy inside of him,
tackle,
then the center,
okay?
okay, then 3 linemen over there.
This is a tackle, and there's a
Yep.
tight end.
All right, we call that what, Ted, Carl?
Uh-huh.
You're gonna get
And you
the
got
tight
tight
call.
eagle called.
We will call the top, we will call the strength to the three-man side.
Okay. And this has nothing to do with coverage again.
No,
Your numbers of blockers, 2 blocker side, 3 blocker side.
yep, you give this to us, you might get us the first time, but that is our basic adjustment to that.
Okay, and if obviously it was the tight end was on the other side, you got no problem. Right, that would be a little different for us, so we need to think about, make sure we remember that.
Well, you know, it's different for them too. They're always calling it, if he said tight eagle, that guy might initially think, oh, I gotta call Liz, but he's gotta see that it's a 3-man side on the other side.
You might initially
We
say,
still
it,
would
they go.
we still would have called it Liz and then slid. So,
That was old, that was the old
this
stuff.
is past year.
Yeah, had nothing to do with this defense.
I know, I'm saying that's new.
Sure, it won't be a problem. This is the way I used to run this thing.
Okay. Once again, now the linebackers are getting their calls off of this sheet. They're getting tight. Let me see. If you just wanted tight aim fire, you'd go tight, and then you'd go stunt. Number 10, however you signal that, right?
Yep,
Okay. And then the linebacker's going to come up and he's going to say rip or Liz
correct.
on everything. Rip
Yep.
or Liz.
And if it's split eagle, he calls the Liz a rip to the split side, right? He don't say tight, he don't call the tight end side.
Well, number one, he doesn't say tight eagle.
No.
No. I
All
know
he
that.
comes up and says, if there's split inside over here, if here's a tight end and there's a split in, he says Liz.
Yeah,
Okay. He's calling.
Basically, all he's doing, because he's not talking the ends,
right.
He's talking on the tackle.
he's talking tackle, he's just telling the 3 technique to
Okay.
go. Now, the ends need to know where the rip or Liz call is, because everything in our slant package is either to the call or away from the call.
Now, tell me how this works, and I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I got this on my arm here.
Mhm.
So I'm the linebacker, all right? I'm not reading out bullets, outlaw, blast, split, because everybody's looking at it, right?
Yep,
So I'm not saying anything.
nope,
I'm looking at it, and then all of a sudden, I might put my finger on it so I can remember what it was. Is that correct?
I don't know.
And then I'm going to see, here they come up.
What? Well, you ain't gonna do that.
He's giving me a bad time.
No, I'm not.
You ain't gonna do that. You
How's it
have to
work?
remember it. You're gonna get the call, you're gonna call Liz or rip and run the play. Run what you
Right, that's what I'm saying. I'm going to say Liz.
You don't have to look back down after you say Liz or rip. Why
Well, I got to remember what it was.
No, you just, as soon as because the guys aren't coming, they're hopefully we've got them before they come out of the huddle. They come out here, they see tight G number 4, which is tight G.
But nobody's saying that out loud. They're all looking at it.
But I mean, we got the 3 technique I'm talking about. That's got a chance to be an All-American type player. His ass won't wear contact. He won't. We got to make him wear He don't want to wear contacts in a ball game.
Okay. But nobody's telling him this
No.
call. He's looking
No.
at it himself. All he's waiting to hear is whether or not if I'm an end, whether I'm on the call side or away from the
That's
side.
exactly right. Rip or Liz.
All right.
Now tell me, really, and what the difference is really is does the linebacker tell them, or do they read it?
Yeah.
That's the difference of huddling, and the linebacker tells them what the call is, or they read it.
You read
You're
it.
exactly
Now
right.
the difference is in it is a lot of times what happens because you can read it because we don't have to huddle is they got a lot more time to see it all. And that is the difference why about 6 years we changed it because the first team that we're going to play of the year is a no huddle offense.
Okay.
So we start doing it. Well, so we worked on it for 2 weeks, and then we're going to go back to huddle, and the kids go, because our secondary doesn't have to run back to the huddle anymore.
Okay.
Their safeties are standing, but the corners right here, and these guys are all looking the
If
same
you're
way.
thinking wide, you're probably going to give him a wide call right off the bat.
You mean coverage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, Coach, you know me, I'm not very smart. This is going to be something that has a lot of common sense to it, or we're not going to do it. Every reason to watch is even the way it is because of common sense. Because I used to call blitzes 1-word blitzes. What happened was if you ever the next week if you ran a different blitz, you only get X amount of reps. The reason that watch is the way it is there's so much overlap teaching every week because it really doesn't ever change.
There might be something on here you haven't called for 3 years.
Could be.
You might not have called take nose.
We have, but we only probably in a ball game only use 30% of that.
Okay. All right. I'm kind of getting off the track there again. All right, so
Told you I
that's,
should have never given me that watch when we started
that's
out.
how, okay. All
Thank you
right,
for the
Jim,
price
anything
cut.
else we need to know stunt-wise? Because really, I mean, we run a lot of these same stunts and our techniques are very, very similar and
You don't really want to get in the cover package yet, do you?
not right
Tell-
this second, because that's, oh yeah, it's coming up next.
Okay.
I'm gonna stay away from slide.
Well, you want me to talk about a power call then?
Yeah. I wanna hear about that.
Okay, yep.
The way we call a power call is it comes in the coverage.
Where's power on this little thing?
It's not on there because the front never
Okay,
has
gotcha,
a power call.
okay.
Now,
I'm
if
in.
we want to build it into a blitz, okay,
Yeah, then
where
you-
the call side guy knew, the tight end side guy knew he was going to be down in 5, then we would put it on there. But, in fact, I brought a US, somewhere, I have to find it in my deal, a USC thing, because when we played USC 2 years ago, we had one where we had a power call built into a T-Dogs blitz,
Okay.
because we're going to bring the 5 technique underneath.
Yeah.
But power calls called in the coverage. So the way, and I'm going to draw up a one back because most of the time I teach out of a one back principle. And this is the hash. If I call one power, so I call power, it's going to have, when you call a power call, obviously you got to be in a shell look because you got to move the safety. Or you can't be in a robber look to do that. You could be in a man free look.
A 3 shell?
You'd have to be, no, in a 4 shell.
Okay, cover 2
A quarters or a squats and help.
Gotcha.
Cover 2 shell.
Okay.
So if I say one power, that only talks to strong because he knows he goes to strength of the passing formation. So let's say you call it tight G.
Okay.
Liz, strong, we come up here, call is blue, so we're playing quarters.
Okay.
Power, wide, blue, solo. Come up, safety says power to the end, nobody else has to know it. The end moves down. Now I don't play, my safeties are not good outside linebackers because they're not 6'2", 240 pounds, or whatever. So what we'll do, if this is a tight end, I mean a 190
Our
pound guy,
outside linebackers weren't 6'2", 240 either.
I'm talking about in a 50 defense where you used to line up head up on the guy and hit him in the mouth.
Go ahead.
So when we move him down, if that's the ball inside, we'll actually line up about a yard outside, we'll be just like this.
Same as we are.
And the kicker for them to understand is, nothing changed, just their alignment. If we call blue their quarters, if they're the slash player, pass shows, they drop.
Gotcha.
Run shows, we will wrong shoulder anything. We will fit over the top of it with the line.
So that's not based on the
Oh, you
coverage.
even wrong shoulder a near pull?
I will. Now out of this, you know, you get all the other stunts that you get into if you want to, but
Now, how about if you didn't say, do you always have to call that with wide? How about if you hadn't said wide?
wouldn't matter. He would have did it here with this formation.
Strong side.
No, let's use a 2-back set because there's only one tight end.
Yeah, put the tight end in the boundary.
If I only gave a power, we'd have no power call because the power call only would have talked to strong. Now, if I knew there was a 2-back, 1 tight end set, and I wanted a power call wherever it was. I
Right.
called double power blue. So now, since I called double,
Double power blue sky.
yeah, could be. So now the weak safety would do the power, and you could have called field with. Let's just say you called field, so now you got field eagle, blue out here.
You'd be in the shade with that other tackle, right?
Huh?
Be in the shade.
Could, yeah, because I didn't call a G.
Okay.
But when they wouldn't check loose.
Don't need to check loose when you use a power call.
But who knows that?
Well, that's one he tells these guys.
Power.
Yep.
Power, power, power.
Now we're moving down. We don't need a loose call.
Okay. All right, he's working with that corner. He's going to spill over.
So now again, you're not formation to me because I can control that. Let's just say I didn't want the strong safety to power at all. I want to play Robert in the field. So all I did was so I have a power, I have a double power, and I have a weak power. Weak power tells only him. So they came up in a pro set, you'd have no power.
Yeah.
If they put twins in the back, if they came out in twins,
You have a power.
You got a power.
Yeah.
Again, I'm controlling it by secondary. I'm not letting these guys control it.
okay.
If you got power on, what would you do versus a reach block? That 9 technique.
I'm going to try to pin it just like an outside linebacker. He tried to reach me. I'm going to try to squeeze it.
So
Just
you,
like
when you say you're
Hey,
spilling
let's-
everything, you're not spilling
No, not reach, only down.
How about, okay.
But he's staying
Only
outside
down,
the
only
reach
down block by tight end.
How about if
Okay.
tight end down blocked and they pulled the front side tackle, you still try to spill that?
Huh? Depending on what they're trying to do, but if it was like playing in Nebraska, yes, I'd come underneath because of the give. Now, it's hard playing somebody that runs the option and doing some of that, because then,
Yeah, that's
You're in
what we
no-win
get. It's always
situation.
the option, that's why we stay outside the front side. guard.
now, if you're getting that, probably, we'd probably try to fit the linebacker underneath and hit that guy in the mouth and play outside and play quarterback.
Right, that's what we do.
Now,
So that corner has no, I mean, that's no different than Reed run support.
so here it is, here's tight G blue, okay? Here's a double power call. They come up flanker.
Tight G blue.
Tight
Double
G.
Or let's go, in fact, let's go, you want a 6'2", tight G 10, so you got double twos.
Right,
And I call it blue sky. Okay? Double power blue sky. The safeties will walk up to the ends, and they'll tell them power on both sides.
now, what Willie's saying now, that doesn't become Sky anymore back there, it becomes Reed.
Now it becomes a read. It becomes a read because of the power.
Power call.
Anytime he's in a power call, he is a quarterback player, he is a read player, and he's pitch.
Who's the read player and who's pitch?
Read corner, read half.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Not in.
Arc block, he's, you know.
He's,
center.
yeah.
Just
However you
regular
wanna
old
play.
read,
Huh?
regular read.
Yep.
Just out of curiosity on your read, if that tight end blocked down and that fullback arced, would that weak safety stay outside of it?
No, we would quarterback play it the first time.
Would you?
Now, what you and I talked about, we're going to see about the third play of the scrimmage.
Okay.
Here, mistake on my part. When I was talking the other day, our offense came up in this, and actually I think it's pro. Well, our rule is anytime you're in a power as a safety, you're a quarterback player. Okay? Well, the free safety forgot that the guy was in a power. Well, he was expecting when they arc the strong safety in blue coverage, because in our quarters we're going to read the fullback.
As an arc.
Yeah,
with
and we're
tight
going to
end.
go up. Well, he was expecting to go up, and he didn't go up. He just stayed because in the power, if it was just regular blue where he's kept like this,
Uh-huh.
he would have read it on the pitch. Well, he was expecting to. Well, he didn't. So he stays too tight, and the guy cuts him, which was my fault because I forgot. I just assumed that he would know being a senior player, but wrong assumption. We learned a very good lesson.
Do you guys keep track, do you keep track of missed assignments, obviously?
Oh, yeah. In fact, I'll show you my grade sheet because I got to grade it before Monday.
And what percentage, do you keep a percentage, allowable percentage for missed assignments?
Well, what we do is I do two things when we grade. Because and this is what we've been doing for probably about the last 7 or 8 years, Chuck. We grade critical plays, and then we have a technique and a alignment grade.
For
And the
every
reason
play?
why we do that is, if you're going to be in a scheme as a corner, for instance, you play a run team and they grade 95%, but they throw one touchdown and get you beat for a touchdown. That's the only time he got tested all day.
Right,
Well, he was 0 for 1 in critical plays.
okay,
He did not play well.
okay.
Because when it happened, that was his job.
Mhm.
Okay, and sometimes it's throwing all day and you got a lot of critical plays, but that's what we grade on. So like a winning grade for a safety is 60%. Plays at you that you're supposed to make the play. Throwing, running, whatever. You make the play, you get it. If you don't make the play, then you don't, so you're 3 for 5.
What makes a critical play, like, let's just say they run like any play that goes long ends up being a critical play, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me. You should have made the tackle. A missed tackle is a missed critical play.
Okay.
I mean, so missed tackles fall into that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a touchdown.
60% grade just on critical plays.
Just on critical, that's 6. You have to. So open field tackles, you got to make 6 out of 10. For safety, that's
60% is what you consider to be a good game?
well, no, that's you to win with. You can get 60. When my guys are really playing well, it's usually 8 out of 10.
Okay.
When we're playing real well, you're usually about 8 out of 10. Now you're talking about playing good people, and we're talking about every pass.
Do you have a copy of what you're,
Yeah.
do you?
Yep, I brought our scripts, I brought practice schedules, I
I thought
brought.
we're gonna have to get a copy of all that, so.
But then I put then I also have it, so in fact, here, I'll show you here. Let's see where it's at. Here, look right here. Grades here, player, how many scrimmage plays, how many special teams played, that doesn't happen in the spring. comp grade, which that's the technique assignment grade, critical plays, and then a critical grade, attempted tackles, unassisted tackles, and all the different things. We call it MTXEs at the end down here, which that's mental toughness, extra effort. That's when a kid makes a play. What you're going to see in the Northwestern game where our linebacker gets an MTXE because
That's what we call Hercules.
yeah, where he runs a guy down. And see, what I do is I take a grade sheet like this. Now, he's already got the calls on it from the scrimmage.
Okay. Let me see what that grade. Let me see what that looks like. Because you're grading your guys, there's no front on there.
Well, there is a front. I'm just not going to grade them on the front. Every defensive coach gets that call. I'm just going to look at zero fiddle press.
Oh, I see.
And see, what I'm going to put mine now is I'm going to put strong safety, free safety, weak safety.
Okay.
I'm going to write their name, but then we're going to go down and I got big enough boxes. They're going to get a plus or minus, which that doesn't mean anything.
Okay.
Plus doesn't. That means they just did their job.
Okay.
They get a plus with a circle, and then they're going to get like a fumble recovery, or they made a critical play. If they get a minus, could be a critical play. They could have get a minus for technique grade, but then it's not a circle minus for me.
Which means wasn't a critical play.
Yeah, I mean they're just not technically sound, or they're misaligned.
He might have got cut on the backside of the play, but it wasn't even affected.
He might get a minus, but it's going to be part of his assignment grade. It's not the critical play deal for me, because here's the deal for me. My safety's supposed to be 7x3 in robber coverage. But if they go and do exactly 7x3, we're not getting what we want out of the defense. And they're always up here showing smoke. They may end up at 5x5 or something because they're moving all around.
Okay.
So really assignment is more, now if he's supposed to be a half and he's lined up at 8 yards, now that's a minus.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some things that just are minuses.
Okay.
Now, our offense has what they call drive stoppers. There's minuses and then there's drive stoppers, meaning whether it be penalty, missed assignment.
Drop the third down and 18. You dropped the 20-yard gate. You were wide open. Yeah.
And you know what I do? This is great for the critical play. I never have a problem with who plays. Because, it used to be, before I started doing that, it used to be, Coach, I grade 95%. No, you graded 95 in technique.
If you all remember, remember what my grade sheet looked like? Yeah, it had that section in there where you got, you got your technique and your assignment grade, but then if you had, you remember what it looked like, didn't you, Kyle?
The one you had from Pitt.
Yeah. That what I tried to do with Gary, where you graded a guy on if he had, I want to say we used the word critical too, and production grade.
That's really what that is.
Yeah, and if you got a critical error, if you got minus 4 points on there.
Oh, you had a point system.
Yeah, we had a point system where
Yeah.
a guy
I
could
remember
literally
that.
get all
Yeah.
pluses in
Yeah.
alignments, techniques, and if he got beat on 3 plays, his grade was going to be shitty, because it was off.
Well, that's what, being honest, that's what football's about.
Without a doubt, but once, yeah.
And that's what, and Fran never had any argument because his whole thing's about productivity. Because one of our goals, we went away from finding the top 22 players. Our whole thing is finding the playmakers, period.
I don't have one in here,
I know what you're saying. You had
That would be like our
you had,
contact ratio.
it's like our contact ratio. Yeah.
Because here's a corner. A corner gets beat. Let's say he plays 10 plays they throw 10 passes. He plays good 3. 3 he's beat, but they never throw it to the guy. And then you have 3 other passes where it's thrown right at him. Does he get a chance to make a play? Well, he might have got a minus because he was beat, but he didn't get a minus. He got a minus technique because the guy beat him, but he didn't throw him the ball. I mean, and that as well as I do, that happens. It does. There's not such a thing as they don't get beat. Now, key is, did he get beat?
Make it critical.
Would it made a difference?
So is it critical if the ball didn't get thrown to him? It's not critical.
No. See, that's
Now-
production. That makes so much sense
Right.
because the guys who, you're right. Sometimes guys.
Well, we started doing it at Ole Miss. We had some guys who literally had bad technique. I mean, they may get reached a bunch, or ran around behind the block,
Made the
and made a
play.
whole bunch of tackles. And who do you want to play? The guy who never got reached but didn't make any tackles, or the guy who,
Showed up.
Well, now, everybody does it different. My whole thing is, I believe guys get paid, and all of it all comes down to what kind of player you have. And that's, again, one of the reasons we're in our system. If we're bad at 3 technique, no matter how good the coach is, it's not going to change. So I better have something in the system I can give him a chance to be successful, okay? Or that three technique coach knows a great chance he's asking to get fired. But I'm not a guy that walks in and we start watching film as a defense, and okay, let's look at the left defensive end. Then we go to three tech. Come in. What's the problem with the defense? Why didn't it work? Okay, and I feel like probably the same way you do. You got guys, they get paid to do their jobs, and here we go. Well, if they're doing it, then I'm running Toro or tanks, or I'm trying to help that guy out. Because whether I like it or not, whether he's not getting the three techniques stop from being reached, or we're not getting the corner and the inside of stopping the post, I better find a way for that guy to be successful. And again, I go back to what this defense is about. Now, obviously, the better technique you play and all those things, and we start out from the very beginning teaching that way and doing everything, but that is not something that's dwelled on, except we know that we need to be good at it to be successful.
Can this system work? This is a general question. Can somebody literally just call the coverages and somebody literally call the front?
That's all Bump and I did. The way him, and that's, being honest, that's
How
the
about
best.
if you? How about if you wanted to run a smoke?
No, what happens is he when it came to blitzes, there has to be a guy that, now he said, I need to blitz.
Okay.
Okay, what do you
I'm
think?
blitzing.
Coach, it's like we're playing New Mexico. Here's a great example. We're playing New Mexico State. I do the cut-ups, 4 square cards. Now the GA's do them, the way we used to do them. Long time ago, we're right, there are 4 squares on a card, and then we cut them up. And you do them by formation, you do them by,
Oh, yeah, to do your
yeah, the way you used to do it in Kansas
You
State.
still do it like that?
Yeah,
Okay.
okay? And I was noticing on my cards that the back always blocked 2 tight inside in one back. They were all one back. Pretty soon we got to look at him. They didn't notice, and pretty soon protection we found out, so we run S-dogs all night, killed them. We'd find it, if you don't find it there, then you find out later on where you need to come from, but that's the way we do it. But Bump, when him and I worked together, if he didn't call a blitz, then I called a secondary call, because that's all I thought about all week, myself. Man zone, how I'm going to stop things, by personnel, what calls I wanted. And because we did that, when we'd get to wherever we went on Friday, whether we were at home or away, we'd go in as a staff, we'd put on a game tape. He'd go tight G, I'd call 2 blue sky, for example. Okay? Then as they came out in I-backs, I'd say, okay, we check sky. Then the next call he made, now it's 3rd and 10, I call 0 fiddle rebel double. Got a man bracket. He'd call a twist. Now if he called a blitz, and it was an 8-man, then I knew I had to call a 0 cop. Because we needed the end playing man on the tight end, because we're bringing both linebackers and both safeties. So what happened was, when it came to blitz, I matched up with him. I still called the bail and the press. Now when he was at Houston this year, he called it all, because he was the only guy that knew the system. He had 3 new coaches and had never worked with him before, so he made the front end the coverage call. But when him and I were together,
Sounds like you do the whole thing at TCU though too.
well, yeah, but what happens is, like, we get in 3rd and 10. Stan, tell Mark what cobra call you want. And then I call the coverage with it. Or before 3rd down, I may ask them what blitz, because we're on a 4-way headset, they make suggestions. Now I make most of that, but if Mark says, Gary, they haven't blocked, they're not blocking the A gap, because he's watching what everybody, watching their own specific things they need to watch. But I mean, it's where we're at. If you ask me what would be the best system, the best system is that you have one guy thinking about how to stop the best run play and the best pass rush, and one guy thinking about the best coverage. That is the ultimate, because being honest, I can't do all of it. You can, unless you just have perfect call already right in front of you already know how you're going to call it, and we do that too, but that's what we do 5 days a week, not on Saturday. But you might have went all week saying you wanted to aim fire with slide, got in the game and changed it, and you might have decided to go split G aim fire instead of tight G aim fire, slant the other way and play slide, so you went back to playing tight G. That's what the flexibility this deal gives you. You just got to know how to, in your mind, be able to go to it when you want to go to it.
Okay. All right. What we ready to move on to coverages? Or you want to talk? Slide goes with coverage, right? So.
Yep.
I mean, I understand power. Does everybody understand power?
Yeah.
Now, we would never, unless we game plan, we'd never power a wing for us.
So if you had power called and it came out in a wing,
We wouldn't, the safety wouldn't say power.
we're going to say power.
The other thing we would never power is the offset backs were too tight inside.
The offset backs were what?
Like a near.
Oh, to you?
Yeah, he'd just leave this guy in a 6. He might play on the line of scrimmage, but he wouldn't put him down in a 5 and a 9.
Why is that?
Well, let's just not get out leveraged.
On a fast route?
Yeah, fast route, or you're getting down to 5 and 9, and you're talking about. For us, we don't do it because I don't play in a 5 and 9 as much as I play in a 6 and an outside. If I was a weak Eagle team where I did that a lot, these guys were a lot. We work a lot more. You work a lot more blocking schemes with this look. For me, I work a lot more blocking
That's all I
schemes.
worked. That's all we were. We were
Yeah.
line techniques.
So that's why we didn't ever fit that way. We because of the 4-2 scheme, we're gonna.
Yeah.
And most of the time, we're moving over like this.
So he didn't say power. It was all hard joint by that guy. There was no spill there.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Even in quarters, that guy wasn't reading it right. That safety wasn't.
We have the power.
Even in blue.
Now, if we're in blue coverage, when we're like this guy's the free guy. Because this guy can get over the top.
See,
In robber coverage,
it's the other way, right? Yeah. They're hard jointed in arbor, but in quarters, they're gonna spill it.
So in blue, you
Spill
read
everything.
it. Blue's automatic read.
yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll find that out when we get into coverage. So let's move into coverage. And did you guys think about where we ought to eat?
Right up, what? Great
Yeah,
Lakes
Matt
Shipping
laid
Company.
Gary, which one of those is
Great
different,
Lakes
by the
Shipping
way?
Company,
I don't
Keontae's.
It was a blue one.
Huh?
wasn't it?
Yeah.
We had talked about Great Lakes Shipping Company and Keontae's, but.
Yeah, that one looks like it's wounded up pretty good.
Gary and I ate at,
I'm not hungry right now.
Gary.
I don't, like, you don't have to, I'm not, unless you're hungry, we don't have to go anywhere.
Gary,
I'm all right.
Well, Kyle might be in Willie.
I'm fine.
Gary and I ate
I'm
until
good.
like 2 o'clock, so.
Okay.
But
Well,
what we should do is, we should probably go, to lessen the crowd, we should probably go somewhere around 8 or something.
That's what I'm thinking. Okay, here we go. Coverage. Now, you teach it the way you is best for
I'm
us
gonna
to learn.
I'm gonna teach you the way I teach players.
Okay, but let me ask you a question now.
Okay, I'm
also,
listening.
also teach it the way we're going to install, because the way I looked at your installation sheet, it looks like you do a lot of single call on the first day.
First day is exactly what we do. We don't do any double call on the first day.
Okay.
In fact, we don't do any double calling as far as 2 blue on the first 3 days.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna call blue quarters.
Pardon?
I am not gonna call blue quarters.
What are you going to call it?
I'm gonna call it soft read of 2.
Soft read of 2? Okay.
The reason why, because our check roll is our quarters. I mean, to me, quarters where you're not reading anything, you got 2 on, when we get a trip set.
That's our deep check.
Yes, that's correct.
I'm kind of looking at your installation sheet here as we go too, Gary.
Should have robber, roll, sky, freeze, and 0 on the first day.
Silver and 3.
Yeah, silver just because of bullets.
Okay. All right. So what are you going to start with? 2?
Yep.
All right. Now, what I'm real interested here, Gary, is I'm interested in base alignments, keys, and then we kind of got to, any
Well,
general rules that go
Well,
with
first thing you gotta think about is you don't ever think about a full formation.
it. Okay.
Like, because you're only going to do half a formation with the way you have your read and away side, there's only 3 types of formations that your guys can get. They can either get a pro side, a twin side, or a trip side. Okay? On the read side, in cover 2, if they come out twins, the safety's going to be outside in one back. The safety's going to be outside
Say that
eye
again. You get a pro side, a twin side,
Trip side.
or a trip side.
on the read side.
On the read side, well, and that's on any side,
Any half.
but you can't get a trip side on the away side because that would be the read side. So on the
Right.
away side, you can only get a pro or a twins.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Away side,
Pro or twins.
you get pro or twins, or pro meaning just a
Single receiver could be a single receiver.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I call this a pro look where it's a tight end wide out off.
Can I get a twin look? Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm with
Okay,
you.
so you hear read side, read, here he comes out. Free safety says it's 2 reading left.
Okay.
Okay? He echoes it because he doesn't say read side, he just says 2. That's what they're playing. 2 reading left. If it's a twins, 1 back, 5 yards off, outside shoulder of
5 yards off the man or the line of scrimmage?
no, off the man.
Okay.
I tell you, yeah, And let's go back one thing and make sure that we understand this. And I'm going to say off the man, I'm going to count off of number 2 because everything we do in our system, we count from outside in. And this is even going to count for man coverage.
Okay,
Okay? And that's always counts as 3 strong, not as 3 weak.
okay, gotcha.
Okay? So he gets a twins look, 1 back, 5 yards off, outside eye.
Okay,
Unless he gets a wide split, then he's going to move back inside. I mean, ball in the middle of the field, the guys line up in a decent split. If he gets way out where he knows it's run, it's going to be a run
balls on
play.
the hash is wide outside the other hash for you?
Yeah, it would be. That's probably really a good split. If he gets anything outside the hash, that's wide.
Okay.
The biggest thing we just see, it's one of those things, again, use common sense. You can kind of tell where they're running routes out of and where they're running the football out of, if they're giving you any kind of that kind of thing. If you're on the reach side of a pro look,
Wait a minute,
Okay.
wait a minute, go back to twins.
okay?
Stance,
Stance, line of scrimmage, the table. Stance, here's the wide receiver, outside eye, turned in at 45 degrees.
so you're almost like
Square.
a squat corner. Old
Kind
squat
of.
corner cover two, okay?
Yep. Why do we turn in? Why do we turn in? Crack and good leverage angle.
Okay.
So it's 5 from the front foot.
Yep.
Foot
Did you
nearest
say
the line
5
of
from the
scrimmage.
man?
And what you'll see a lot of times with them, again, going back to things, and you're going to watch and you're going to have to play what your personnel is and what feel comfortable. If it's 3rd and 10, it may be 5 yards off the line of scrimmage. Because what are you playing? You're not,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Sure. Okay, I'm with you
Now
there.
the whole thing is, and I tell you probably the best thing because you get guys off and on when you teach it, it's probably best to say 5 yards off the line of scrimmage so that there's no doubt where the guys line up. So if you get guys that do like this,
Snap that.
and one guy's at 2, one guy's at 3,
Right.
So 5 yards off the line of scrimmage is a better way to say it?
yes,
Okay,
okay? Corner's always 1 by 7 inside of number 1.
wait a minute. What's the other guy keying?
He's keying end guy on the line of scrimmage the ball, and the end guy on the line of scrimmage is pre-snap.
Okay,
We always read quarterback.
Key N LOS pre-snap, okay? All right, next key is quarterback,
Yeah.
okay? Gotcha.
Anytime in cover 2, you're a flat player. The strong safety is a force player, which makes him the pitch player.
Okay. I'm with you.
Okay? You want me to go to the other 2?
Well, I don't know what the best way to do it is. I mean, I teach that guy right there. I mean, I may end up teaching all 3 safeties, and Willie the corners. We haven't made a decision on that yet. But, okay, so I mean, at some point I got to learn what his drops are. You know.
Well, I'll get to all that.
All right.
Just like I
So why don't you
make
just
a
do
young.
what you're doing?
I'm gonna
Scott?
do this. Just like I make a young guy do it. I'm gonna give you stance, alignment, assignment, read, responsibility.
Okay.
So
Which
got
part
the
of that is
stance.
his key? Is that what
Huh?
you can read?
Yeah. We'll just call that key.
Okay.
So let's just go here. Stance, we're turned in at 45. Outside eye, alignment, outside eye of number 2.
Okay.
5 yards off the line of scrimmage. If it's 2 back, if it's 1 back, if it's 2 back, now he will be anywhere between the line of scrimmage and 3 yards off turned in, because now he's got more chance of being a primary force player.
Okay. 1 back, 5 yards. 2 back,
Line of scrimmage to
line of
3.
scrimmage to 3. That's a little bit like what Bob Pruitt taught, if you guys remember it, because
Yeah, I remember.
that free safety's going to get a faster read too,
Right.
right?
Yes, he does.
Okay.
And the other thing the whole thing I come back to saying, it's a scapegoat, but I'm telling you, split inside running plays are not a big a deal with us as what other people, because of the threat of this guy.
Okay, I'm with you.
And just, it's
That
different.
on play action, that would make it hard for the free safety.
No,
I know he's
because our
reading
whole
quarterback.
our rule for these 3
We
guys
haven't
is
even
don't
talked
know.
about the free safety, what he's reading yet.
Well, but we're going to read quarterback too.
Yeah.
But our whole rule is don't go till you know. And you're going to get a chance to see on film. You're going to see his eyes, both of them. They're not going to drop. They're not going to do any run reads till he clears the second back, both of them. And you're going to see even in the scrimmage, this guy make the zone play at the line of scrimmage. Okay, This guy's as much of a split end cutback guy as what that guy is. It's like Les Canning said, he's used to people playing quarters and seeing the safety always inside and this guy outside.
Mm-hmm.
What we've done with the system is try to get the best of both worlds. Always keeping a natural leverage player and still being able to get both guys to party. Okay?
All right, 1 back, 5 yards, 2 backs, line of scrimmage, or 3 yards.
Yep.
Okay.
Again, because of what you have. Okay? Now, if a strong safety gets, and I'm going to do both of them, I'm going to put these guys in sequence because the corner doesn't matter. When we get a twins look, and this is the way I teach this when I teach my players, I gave you his alignments to twins. His alignment is 10 to 12 yards off the line of scrimmage, okay? Splitting the difference between the tackle and number 2.
Okay, so he's going to split the difference. Okay, he's gonna-
Stance is going to be flat foot, squared
10
up.
to 12. This is 1 back or 2 back?
Makes no difference.
For him, it makes no difference. The other guy.
Down and distance.
Okay.
Down and distance will predicate that, and if that guy knows that guy's
And he's square to the line of scrimmage.
just like this.
Okay.
On the snap, he will not back up, he will shuffle.
King, the same thing. End of LOS, pre-snap.
Yep.
to
His
quarterback.
assignment versus run is he's an alley player, he is a quarterback player.
Right. Okay.
If pass shows, going back to both of these two, if pass shows, the reach side safety, which is mostly the strong safety, is flat right now. Swing deep of 3.
What's that mean?
Swing deep is a term we use in zone to tell you you have a man responsibility. It tells you drop your zone. If that guy runs through your zone, you have him vertical.
Okay, so what's his drop look like there?
Flat. As soon as pass shows,
What,
hand out,
what does flat mean?
and I open up, and I'm going to get the flat
Okay.
right now.
Is the flat
Top of the numbers
Top.
drop
Flat?
the numbers?
No,
or?
we don't give them that kind of thing.
Okay.
Landmark.
to the
No,
man.
because corner, we're going to go back to everything that people read. The corner's telling us China, in or out.
Right.
If he gives him a China call, China means man responsibility. Means you now are running to number 1 and you stand beside his ass because I am sinking
Okay.
to help with the corner out. If he gives him an in call, an out call, let's just go so you get it. Because the corner's not responsible for the 10-yard out.
Okay.
Now out, now he takes, because he open, he takes a peek, he will now run underneath it. If he gives him an in call, as in a vertical and a dig, okay, and we won't get into the corner here yet. Now I started out and I hear in and in, I will squeeze down as long as I don't lose leverage like on a 1-back team that would be flare to the back,
Right.
dig with the vertical.
Okay. Am I finding that guy and just trying to
Yep.
scoot him in? Okay.
In fact, I'm going to show, I got half zone tapes so you can see that.
My original thing I'm telling that guy is he's flat, and then how'd you say the number 3 thing?
I don't try to, being honest, Chuck, I don't try to coach him. He is the flat player. What I mean is, whoever's in the flat, if there's a guy in the flat, then I'm underneath him. If there's no guy in the flat, then I'm finding somebody because there's an in call. If this guy does not hear China, in or out, he assumes there's no short route, now I can start looking around doing whatever I need to do.
But what was the part about he's carrying somebody on the wheel?
Okay,
Swing.
Swing 3?
What's his shoot? What's his target for the depth there, Gary?
8 to 10.
Okay.
Again, it also goes back to, are you a 3, 5, 7 man?
Yeah.
I mean, what?
Drop.
7-step drop.
Okay.
What's swing deep? Because you're going to ask
I
me
know what
this.
it means.
Well, no. The reason what I'm going to say to you is why it's going to be different in a second. Remember, this guy's the read side safety because the free safety's reading to his side.
Okay.
Okay? That makes him swing deep at 3. The reason we do it, and even will it because we get into quarters, we don't ask this guy to run with the wheel of this guy. 2 reasons. Because we play outside leverage, we've had people, if you make him responsible for the wheel of number 2, and also tell him he's the force player,
They want to stretch. Yeah.
can't do that. Plus, okay, and you can do it on this side because,
Safety.
okay, so what happens is he runs flat. Now, the other thing that happened Villanova did is now they play action, now they're running 3 in the flat. Well, if you're a 4-3 team, a lot of people, this guy would handle it.
Right.
Well, he don't do that. He's our 4-3, he's our Sam, okay? So, if they're like sprinted out, see, he would be the pull guy, so he has to be the guy. If the guy ran the flat and ran through the curl or the flat, that he'd handle. That's what swing deep means.
That is the third play.
Reach side safety has swing deep at 3.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Now,
1 second.
I'm just gonna go ahead.
That can certainly, at some point later on, that could be the weak safety, could it not?
Yes, in two back, they change the strength motion. That's why it's reach safety and away safety.
Okay, so all I'm
Yep.
saying is, if Willie ends up coaching all four of them back there, you're gonna have to know this too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and the way this goes, you
I'm
play
gonna
cover
have to
two.
check with you what he said.
You got it on film and tape too.
If they go here,
Right.
all this is two read and right.
Right.
Okay? Now, he's swing deep at 3, and he is now swing deep at 2. Now, we haven't gone to the way side yet, but
Right, okay. Now let me just step back a second.
Okay.
I know I'm probably driving everybody crazy because I'm the old dog. Okay?
sounds like we need to get film out here each time we teach a coverage, so you can see it easier.
Well, I know I want to know how to say it because I've been accused of not saying the right things to these guys. Not these guys, but my players. Or, you know, it shows up on film. Anyway, long story short here is, when this breaks, okay, and you're playing 2, all right?
Run
that,
shows.
That free safety he's the only one talking on that side. He says 2 read and left. 2 read and left. Now, does that Sam out there, that strong safety, does he start saying sky, sky, sky?
No, he's always an understood sky.
Okay, all right.
So, but he might echo 2 to the corner, loud crowd, whatever, 2-2. And we use hand signals like everybody
So
does.
they don't make a support call, that's what you say.
No, not on the read side.
Okay.
Not on the read side. We never make a support.
2 read and left, I'm with you, okay? Go ahead.
Okay.
If
Run
you did get
shows.
motion,
Okay.
what would happen?
All that would happen here is the free safety go from read and left, check
What
2
does he
read and
say?
right.
What does he say?
Check 2 read and right.
Check 2, read and write.
That's
Okay,
it. Period.
gotcha. Okay. All right, go ahead.
Okay. Run shows, force pitch,
Alley.
alley quarterback.
Gotcha.
Pass shows, read side safety's flat right now, swing deep at 3.
Gotcha.
Free safety, robber rule. Robber rule reads this way, exactly the way I make them verbatim on the field, so they don't have to think about it. Vertical number 2, no vertical, rock curl to post to 1.
Say it again.
Wait a minute.
Vertical 2.
Vertical 2, no vertical, rock curl to post to 1.
Vertical, 2, no vertical.
Post.
Rob, say it again?
Rob curl to post to 1.
Girl to post. Okay. All right, that's just all regular old robbery.
Yeah. Now that's drop
Go
back.
back to the run a second.
Okay, go ahead.
What happens if that inside receiver cracks on the free safety?
In cover 2, the corner's already told in cover 2 he is the quarterback player.
If-
Cannot in a crack situation, because they're not supposed to be able to crack our strong because his back's turned.
Okay.
In cover 2, the first rule is corner on crack rules. In cover 2 has quarterback.
Gotcha. All right, so I just wanted to know it.
Nope.
Go ahead. Pass.
It was a good question.
Vertical 2, number 2, no vertical, Rob curl post, number 1.
Okay.
Okay?
Now you ready for a pro alignment?
No, crossing route.
Okay.
Drag or
Anything that goes up to 8, his vertical clue handles it.
okay?
So if the guy goes crossing route under
Our
5,
offense runs a whole bunch of that right there.
lets it go. Looks to 1.
Looks to 1, okay. Crossing.
So if number 2 does in or out underneath 8 yards, okay, I'm looking to 1.
All right, just,
No, which is what the rule said. No vertical, which vertical starts at 8. And this is a game plan thing for us, depending on where they run the routes. But we'll say at 8 to 10. No vertical, rock curl to post to 1. Okay? So it means an inside route now, outside. Now, since we're talking about pass, the first thing we cross around, the first thing we got to go back to is we've already said what the corner says. Now we got to say what we've got to tell you what the free safety says, because on an outside, whether it's a wheel a route or an out,
Yeah.
the free safety says wheel, 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 and this is the only thing he's telling the
when
corner.
he sees that,
Let me see it.
So here he is. I'm standing here. Let's just say they faked it. Let's say they play action and went away. It's the hardest thing. Okay. I'm the free safety. Here's twins out here. I split the dip of the apex. So I'm the free safety. I'm sitting here. I read run, so I go just like this. Then I see pass, pass, pass. I snap my eyes to 2. He ran it out. Wheel, 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 wheel. What am I telling the corner? Only telling the corner 2 things. And one of them's not that he's going deep. That is not what he's telling him. He's telling him, first you have an outside route by 2, and second you have curl post help. So what does that tell in the corner? I can get my eyes to number 2, even though I might still squeeze because this out may not be running up.
Right.
So here comes the post, and I'm back here and I see this, and I'm squeezing. If that guy never comes up, but because of the wheel call, I'm still squeezing, but now my eyes go back here. So if he stays on and out, this could end up being double.
Okay.
If now the guy runs wheel right now he comes off, free safety now is reading hips. So I come back here, wheel. The guy comes up, he sinks his hips, I start driving right at him. I'm going to drive right at him, so he goes hitch and go, I run through him. If he doesn't, right at the last moment, I step in front of him. Okay? Try to make the pick if I have the opportunity. Now, he doesn't sink, he steps and he goes to the post. Big point. Here, I start opening up, I don't see the hips going, I'm going to go to the post. Do not run at him. What we do is we take a point and we run right back to the goal line. You hit, and I've got it on film where the guy will run right back here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go cut him off. Because if you do this, they will beat you all day and then tomorrow also. And that is not hard.
And once I get there, I'm now just looking to play hands and
Now
eyes.
he's man. Matchup zone, now you're man.
Right.
You won't ever have that corner backpedal for outside leverage. Once number 2 disappears, no longer threat of vertical.
Outside leverage? No, we'll always play inside
It will
leverage.
always be inside.
Always protect your post because you don't know if you're going to get help from the free. We're going to make them try to run a post corner. The post should never be the weakness in this defense because if you got to line up 4 yards inside the guy and make sure there's no post. Biggest key is don't allow the inside route because that's what people think because you're holding the safety same as quarters.
Right.
All right.
In fact, in
3-step.
3-step, don't go till you know, break it on the ball. Biggest thing I want this guy to do is I want him to
Is he
break.
going to get a China call from the corner?
If he got a hitch,
Yeah.
China. Biggest thing, depends on how far this guy broke, but the biggest thing you want him to do, young players want to break back at the receiver, and we're going to try to take that away. We're going to try to step in the passing lane. And then if we don't get it, revert back, because now he's breaking back.
What about boats? What are your boot pickup rules?
Okay, well, now Chuck, only thing I'm going to tell you, this is one thing I'm teaching. I would have never gone through everything we just didn't talk about if I was teaching my players. First thing I would do is teach them a pro, a twins, and a trips alignment. Okay, so the reason I'm doing all
Let's
this,
go do that then.
so I put it up like this, okay, and then we'll get to what you're talking about, and then we'll come back to boot.
Okay.
So twins alignment, read side, I would have told them all. Obviously, I'm not talking the corners.
Okay.
Don't have to, but they would
Well,
have
let's
one
talk to us a second
Yeah.
here. Okay.
So and I'll always tell you these 3, okay? So 1x7, except if the number 1 gets outside of the numbers, and we will never cross the numbers
1x7 off the man or L?
off the man unless he gets outside the numbers, and we will never cross the numbers in Robert. So we'll be clear in here.
Now, how about if he takes a real short split?
Then you'll come in and play regular. If it gets real tight, you have to decide what by game plan. Sometimes you might be head up on him, but you're going to have to decide as the corner coach if they're doing something like that where you want him to be.
We never check coverage though.
No.
Okay.
Not in this, because usually we'll go to Robert coverage if they get tight splits. Like if they get in cover 5, they get real tight splits to try to outflank in squats and halves, we'll go to Robert coverage because if you get tight, our rules get wide. You get wide, we like to get tight.
Okay.
Tell Jimmy.
Huh?
Oh, I say you get start
Seems like
talking.
most defensive line coaches, he knows more about the secondary than us old secondary coaches. I'm serious. I don't mean that negatively.
Now, twins alignment, if we get a twin side, obviously we talked about 1x7, we already talked about the strong safety, we talked about the free.
Gotcha.
If you got a pro alignment, Strong safety, you were 7x3, turned inside, 7 wide, 3 deep.
Okay, hold on
Free
a
safety
second
goes to
here.
the guard.
Wait a minute.
You know what I'm gonna say to you?
Huh?
Put the next thing down. Because he couldn't find one, coverage package.
Make sure you
So,
FedEx
I'd start-
it.
I'd start-
We start on Tuesday.
Huh?
Make sure you FedEx
FedEx?
it on Monday.
I can do that.
When you get back Sunday, so on Monday, FedEx it.
What'd you say the strong safety's line was again?
7x3 outside, ain't guy on the line of scrimmage, and in this case, it's
Seven
the top.
wide,
7
three.
wide, 3 deep.
Yep, turned into a 45. You say, why you play him so wide? What we found out with these guys, you used to play them in tighter. And what happened was, toss sweep, for example, happened.
No restriction in
What happens is you got guys run up the field, which you didn't want to teach them in the first place, and you're in a terrible angle for 3-step. So what happened with the 7x3 is you now are in a perfect angle for toss, and you're also now in line of flight for 3-step.
Popping my feet, no delay.
Don't go till you know.
Okay. Same key, MA line,
Don't
scrimmage,
move.
pre-snap, quarterback.
Okay? Run happens, pitch.
All right,
Run happens, quarterback. Run the banana from the guard.
okay.
8x10 off. 8x10
How
off the
deep is it
guard.
free?
8x10.
Wait a minute, 8 to 10 you mean?
8 to 10.
8 to 10.
Off the guard. Okay. Gotcha. All right, same keys. MA line, scrimmage, pre-snap, quarterback, and then to 2.
Yep. Same rules. It just now it's a tight end.
Okay.
Okay?
Same pass rules, everything.
Correct. Everything's the same.
Everything's the same. Okay.
Now, swing deep to 3. Okay?
Nothing changed there. Spring
Nothing.
deep to 3.
Nothing.
Okay.
Same now. Let's go to the white side of this.
All right, so nothing changes there. Everything's
No. Pro and twins, you got it. We're going to go to trips in a minute, but we're not going to talk about trips yet.
Okay.
Wayside. Now, just for you guys, we now have a read side linebacker and a wayside linebacker. Doesn't matter what the front is.
You want to cover that read side linebacker first for Kyle before we go to the wayside?
Yeah, well, I'm good because it's going to take 2 seconds.
Okay.
Read side linebacker, pass shows,
Wait a minute. I'll write this down. This is whether it's twins or pro.
doesn't matter.
Read side, yeah.
I am middle drop, vertical 3.
Okay, so middle drop. Explain what that means.
Means if you fit yourself off, he's going to drop himself off to number 3. So
Okay.
You're just going to be over the top, right on his width,
in
right?
this case, here's 3.
Okay.
3 sets up, I'm setting up.
Okay.
Now, what I become is we become wall players, especially with a 2-back type situation. So if he doesn't do anything, just like you taught a 4-3 linebacker, this was an outside backer and this was the middle. I opened up, now that became 3.
Yeah.
I'm going to set myself off of him.
Okay.
What you shooting for depth, Gary?
Really not. We want the guy to be slow because the middle
Just
drop
the
guy
forward
is
round
our
technique.
hard draw player.
Mm-hmm.
He's our hard draw player. He's our hard screen everything because he doesn't have to be anywhere in a hurry. In fact, we have found out if that guy, especially versus 2-back, the slower he is, the better off he is.
I think Gary calls that fart around, so that's kind of what he's doing. He
Yeah.
doesn't need to go anywhere, right? All right.
Okay? So we've now handled the reach side.
All right, wait a minute. So if he verticals, we know what we're doing
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
All right, how about if he goes the other way?
Goes the other way, I just open and then middle drop. I don't chase anything.
Okay. Middle drop.
I'm now looking for something, could even be from this side crossing.
That's
That's
what
what,
the middle of the field.
Let's
No.
just say they run that right.
middle of the formation
Okay.
and be field tendency. Go ahead.
Let's say if they run that route right there, you're talking about tight end hooking up over the middle. Am I dropping over the top of him, or am I walling him, or
You're gonna let him sit up underneath you. If he goes anything deeper, who's handling him?
Safe.
safety because it's a
Free
vertical?
safety is vertical.
Yeah, so this guy comes in here at 10, he's got it.
So you're not gonna jam him, is there a level that you?
He would do something, he would make him go, if number 3 worked outside, now that became, he's gonna
Right.
open his wall because the vertical went this way. The guy tried to come in here, he will try to always, if he tries to go to his level, he will always try to make him go over the top. So if I sit here, they play action, I stepped up to play the run, I opened up. Here he comes at me, my 3's outside, so now he became my 3. I'm gonna wall him and I'm gonna work him back into my zone, knowing in robber coverage, at least for this instant, the free safety's got him behind me.
Right. So So anytime he goes behind the linebacker, the safety got to be ready to play.
I always go back to man-to-man zone basketball. When the guy has the ball, somebody got him man. Everybody else is zoned off. Okay? Same thing goes in matchup zone. Okay? He's coming in my zone, I got him man. He's going to leave my zone, and I don't have him vertical, then I go back to zone. So if this guy comes in here and trying to work behind me, I'm going to work with him and wall him. If he works in behind me and he keeps going, after I do it, then I'm going to wall off. Okay? So right now over on this side of the field, you've got a flat, you've got a curl player, and you've got a middle drop. This is what it's going to end up looking right here. That's half of the zone here, of the 500 2 deep. Okay? We call this corner, and go back here because we didn't get a chance to talk about it, an inside half. Put the half up here. And that tells him he's in zone. Man-to-man club 1.
He's an inside half. This is what we call half man, right?
Right.
Which is it in your zone concept?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then that you could do, I mean,
Right.
yes. And what that's telling him, we'll go back out to a twins look here. If they ran the dig and they ran the vertical, and he's working, and he gets an in call, this guy, you know, we give him a depth also, just like we give him the free safety.
Right.
If he does not get a threat to the outside, then what he is doing is he's going to dig back legging on that. And the first question from anybody I've ever heard, what happens if they run a 10-yard dig and they run a 15-yard corner? Well, we don't ever get it.
We've never seen that.
Well, not only do you don't get it, but you even get it less when you can bring 4 from the side and you play man.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But that's, you know, that was
If
my
that did
last
happen,
corner. Go ahead.
well, because the guy was down the field, that free safety's just running.
Yeah, he's
the
on his
corner
own.
route.
Just that's exactly right. He's on his
Once he
own.
locks up, he rides him, doesn't he?
After 8.
And the post corner, the post and the corner route by the slot.
If the first time they did this, we would stay with what we had.
Right.
Okay, stay with what you had means what?
You'd have your vertical.
Okay, they're both playing the
Yeah.
convention.
Now, my answer, if that's your answer, is to go to cover 5, which we're going to get into this package as we go. And then you play a half and you play a squat, and then that looks stupid.
Now that's a little bit of a tough route for that free safety.
Yeah, it is. But it's also one of those situations where, again, once we get into this,
Blitzing them, they can't run it.
well, once you get into, as long as you catch them. But again, you'll watch our cut-ups. Not only one team tried to run that last year.
Okay.
That's Hawaii.
All right, I'm with you.
But then again, you're in a man clue type situation, so they're going to try to beat man routes. So once you find out, one of the whole deal with us is man routes, play zone. Being zone, squat and halves, 3 deep's great for that.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So how they trying to attack you? Bracket is great for that.
Yeah.
Man free is great for that.
Okay.
But again, okay? So you already understand that. So I don't really need to go into it anymore. Now, the big kicker for us, Willie, and maybe you have it, is, again, with the wheel call, that always tells him he has to lay off because he's going to get the robber.
Right.
Any outside route by number 2, we never play number 1 hard. So
Right.
if you got a dig with a wheel or an out, even with an out, he would stay back because he's got a chance of doing that.
Right. Right.
In fact, our offense gave it to us the other day. They tried to go curl with an out and up out of the sprint.
Right.
We only see those on scrimmage days.
When you get that route right there, when you get that route,
Is Dennis coordinating right now?
Yeah.
The other guy left?
Yeah, he's always coordinated.
Oh.
He's never changed.
when you get that route, that outside, the outside linebacker, you're a flat player right there. He's gonna look up. He's gonna look up one. Or is he gonna try to collision that flat?
Well,
Probably
what
get an
happens is
in-call.
he's in if he gets an in call, but
He's
he's going to fit between it because of what he had.
Right.
What we're expecting him to do is just show up
Right.
and him to do that.
Right.
Okay, so that's a good rule. Sprint out that front side back.
Always pull. We call it pull the chain. And what happens is, you got a length of rope between these back three guys. You
Sling.
take his place, you
One
pull the
goes.
chain, this guy never crosses the hash. Backside safety, ever.
So that's the away safety.
And I think even on film, I have what we call perfect drops. Every time we put in a coverage, because we do so much matchup zone, you ask the deal about where do I drop on the field. Again, that's why I put up here how these guys fit, Kyle, because middle of the field really is directed on where they're at and what they're trying to do to you. If we were just dropping hashes, this is the way these guys would end up looking. This the whole thing would look like right here. When we do a perfect drop period,
Right.
what he has to do is he has to field, and it's going to be different on the hash than it was if the ball was in the middle of the field.
Gary, I hate to do it, I want to take you back one more thing on alignments.
Okay.
I want to take you back to read side,
Yes, sir.
FIB. Formation in the boundary,
Okay.
whether they twins or pro,
Free safety never crosses the hash.
okay?
And in cover two by itself, and this is why, and I get to this usually on the away side because then you understand it. On the away side, the weakness of there's two weaknesses of Robert to me. Number two, on the way side vertical and post corner routes, because you're playing inside leverage with your corners.
So
That is the only thing that's weak. Don't tell me the wayside corner, the post away, because you don't have any free safety help, is a weakness because you line your ass up somewhere where you can't get beat on the post. Okay? Virginia Tech lines up at 10 or 12.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what we used to line up, 2 by 10.
but I don't think they would like, myself personally, I don't think they'd like doing that in the WAC because they just short game forever. Now, two back stuff, I think it's really good, but if you're going to play it against one back, I think that you're asking for it a little bit. Myself, that's just an opinion. That's not meaning it's right or wrong, just an opinion.
That's what happened in Washington against Michigan in Rose Bowl a couple years back.
Now, so here's the problem. No, he's on the hash. He doesn't go to the guard.
Gotcha.
So he says two read and right. Okay? Anytime cover two by itself, and usually sometimes we even do it, we will make a freeze call. He will come up saying two read and right, and this is why he has to do it. Pass shows, he becomes like a 3D player, but everybody else plays cover two. Really, the freeze call only talks to himself. It reminds him to tell him, if pass show, that I am not robbing into the boundary. We're getting the short side, hopefully the linebacker can help us a little bit. And the reason we do that is because of that.
Okay, so freeze is never a call you make, it's a call that he makes on FIB.
Yeah.
And it basically means he's playing middle third,
Yes.
but he's still got a flat foot first for the run.
Yeah. If the run shows, and as soon as pass does, he's just flat-footed, and he's right there. He's going to protect the linebacker. Now, I probably in 10 years have only had maybe, I bet there's only been 10 freeze calls made.
Why?
Huh? Because no one puts us in the boundary very much. Not with two
We were a
boundaries.
formation defend team, and we see formation in the boundary all the freaking time.
You make a wide call?
Pardon?
Because I go wide too, now he's reading to the field.
We have field calls. I mean, he could say wide two, he say wide two, they never read to the boundary.
Right.
I mean, very rarely, I mean, if I don't want this, the strong will be over here, and I'll make a wide two call, and then, but I don't really like that.
Let's not get into that yet. Let's not
Yeah.
get into wide yet.
But we don't, the reason we do it is because of that. I guess my point is they don't get much into split backs. And the reason I never have to worry about all of it is because I never end up calling cover two by
I
itself.
want to go back to one more thing too on a run read.
Okay?
Say you got read and left, you got the twin set over here. Okay? When can that strong safety out there turn this guy loose? You know, a lot of people run play action into the boundary. You know, I mean, real hard run.
Boot. Or just,
You boot back out to this number two. He acts like he's blocking, cut off block, and then back out to the field.
This guy,
Yeah.
like this.
Yes.
Here's what. Well, first off, boot rule is just totally different. I always get to it at the end. And this is what it means is anything we talked about looking 2-to-1 with the free safety applies to drop back game, play action, where you straight back. And I'm going to show you in our diamond what we teach in what we call a diamond drill. Now, diamond drills when we set just like you would if you were in a two deep thing or a 2-back thing where I'm going to have 2 tight ends, I'm going to have 2 safeties outside, 3 safeties on the guard. And I'm either going to toss it, tell this guy to take a knee like he's blocking, see a force, alley, cut back, or I'm going to boot. Free safety, shuffles, sees action. Now sees quarterback going sideways. First thing he has to do is he has to look to his vertical. Pass shows. Vertical, number 2 didn't go vertical, he ran it out. Don't care about him anymore. I now teach him to look back for second level.
Okay.
And that second level might be,
Right.
which is what our offense is doing right now.
Sure.
Corner, squeezes over the top. Weak safety, curl flat, swing deep to 2 back here. He now is looking for anything coming out the backside, never crosses the hash. Now, what do people do to beat Robert by itself? And do that. If you were Robert by itself, that'd be a hell of a call because you don't have anybody back here squeezing it down. Because you made this.
Vertical.
Because you got to handle him.
Right. But I would have some corner help there too, right?
On the corner, yes, you do. You just don't, by rule, when he goes to 10 yards until he goes there, you just don't know where to do it.
All right. Now, let's say you get run. That strong safety, what is he is he only responsible for radical bounce? No, I don't want FIB. I just want regular old.
No, I'm giving you twins just like you
Okay.
had before.
Yeah,
I'm force.
your force.
I'm going to
Plays away. I'm talking play away.
Okay, plays away,
Cut it back.
slow pursuit. This guy, play goes here, shuffle. I'm cut back, late quarterback. If option shows, anything that shows inside, I'm going to handle.
Okay.
He is just this.
But you don't have to run with 2 through the vertical or anything like that, does he? Or
No.
rotate back to the middle?
No,
That safety's got to.
no. My guy's not that. You're going to see that guy's not very fast.
Okay.
And it's not his job. You're a gap control defense.
Okay. All right. Just move that twin guy into a tight end.
Okay?
All right. I'm 3 by 7 out there. They run inside zone away from me.
Yep.
I got a 6 technique there.
Squeeze the seam.
All right. And
Slow,
that
slow.
back cuts all the way back outside that end.
My job.
Okay. So I
And this guy will actually show up back here too, and you'll see it in the film.
Gotcha. All right. Go on. Go ahead.
Because see, what happens is he's going to stay slow because he's a don't go tell you no guy now.
Okay.
Just what I just told you with linebackers.
Mhm.
My guys are in a lot of trouble if in play action you even see them move their feet. Their play action, the 2 backs, even the 2, which 2 backs is far harder to me than 1 back is. Their 2 back run reading, I better not see him go anywhere.
Okay.
And now, if he hands it off, here we go. If he doesn't, I didn't move, and now I'm open and pass.
Let's go back. We never talked about what the corners read.
Corner's looking inside for 3-step.
Okay, so does he do pre-snap end of the man line
Yep.
scrimmage? Then
But it
he's reading
doesn't matter as
quarterback?
much. But it doesn't matter much to us, except for he knows it's possibly going to be passed
Okay,
because he's not run support.
okay. So he's reading quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So he's working.
Pass
Is
shows.
he shuffling out?
No, what we call a read back pedal.
It's real easy.
Supposed to be real slow.
Okay.
I'm different than a lot of people. I really like when wide receivers break your cushion
Okay.
because I believe it's the same thing with anything that's like man press. When you can let them break the cushion, you can take a side away, they can do less to you. Now, not everybody believes that, but it's like, for me, it's like Jim Dickey taking us out there 100 times and playing cover 4 or playing 3. The guys running to the curl or standing the curl, which you defend better. And for us, what I want to do is I want the guy to come into me, keep good inside leverage open, and play one side.
So if he's trying to take off, I'm opening to him.
Yeah, always. If I don't have a number 2 like a Twins,
Uh-huh,
I can man turn it.
okay,
If I have a 2 which can threaten me vertical, I always have to zone turn it.
okay,
Which in one back, you always have that problem.
all right.
When I zone turn, so he's outside, ball's inside, here he goes, pin, I'm gonna open, and I'm gonna pin, just like you teach. That's all same thing you probably say. I don't know if you were using the word pin. We're gonna fade. And we're gonna play him so I can get my eyes where they're at.
Okay.
Okay?
Even if he had a short split, and there's a lot of room between me and the sideline. Okay. I'm zone flipping, gotcha. I'm trying
Yeah,
to
because if he runs out right to the sideline, he's making an out call, and that's not his job.
Right,
It's the safety's job to get underneath it.
okay.
When number two no longer is a threat on the vertical, he goes away.
Man
from-
eyes.
Right. Man, what?
Man eyes. As soon as you don't have any other, then you play man and zone.
All right. Wayside. Oh wait, we didn't finish with FIB. I want to know well, I'll wait till you get back to first wayside normal and then wayside FIB. So
Okay?
we'll work back.
Wayside corners, again, 1x7, don't cross the numbers.
I got pro or twins back here, right?
Pro.
That's all I get.
Yep.
What's this initial guy's alignment?
7x3, weak safety. Pro
Off the
look.
ghost tight end or off the tackle?
Either. Pro look. Single receiver or a tight end wide out look, which I call a pro look.
Belly button to the ball again?
Yes, same as the strong.
Gotcha.
Now the difference for him though back here, if he gets an upside tight end, he can line up, he can move up here to 3x3 or whatever it is because he doesn't have a wide receiver like a twin set.
Okay. Is that what you like, 3x3?
Just depends on the player.
Is he still belly button to the ball?
Yeah, turned in.
Okay.
Corners alignment now comes in, and he's, depending on the back set, anywhere from the inside shoulder of the tight end to the outside shoulder, depending on the back set,
How deep?
7.
7.
The back set offset, we probably want to play outside shoulder. Against our offense, we often play outside shoulder because we get so much loaded option back there. Against I teams, usually we'll play this guy inside because now he becomes a field player.
Now, is that sky support there?
Yes.
Not read,
Nope.
unless it was a power call.
Only power call.
Okay.
Is there any particular reason why you turn them in, close hips?
Just get it. I get them turned in for just a simple reason is I get them turned so that when if run shows that they're already they're on your position, they're already come at that angle. I mean, I've coached. We used to coach where this line of scrimmage we used to be turned out where you were shuffle step.
Kansas City State. So, I mean, that's what we used to coach.
Which either has their positives. That's just always the way we've done it.
Okay. All right, so now, all right. How about that linebacker? All right, weak safety, is he doing the same thing as the free safety? Same exit angle, same drop, looking for an in-out China call?
Yeah, except that now he is swing deep of 2, curl flat because you don't have a curl player over there as far as the free
Right.
safety is concerned.
Swing, so he's flat, in-out China, curl, what's it say now? Oh.
Curl flat, swing deep of 2. He's not swing deep of 3.
Oh, he is curl flat now?
Yeah, because you don't have a free safety now, so he works more inside out.
Okay, so he's curl flat. Tell me exactly what you teach there.
Well, because most of the time he's in the boundary, he's not going anywhere faster. That's why we say curl flat.
Plus, he's already lined up in the curl if you got
Yeah.
7x3. Swing deep,
Of
Number
2.
two.
Because you have to, the wayside corners post all day.
okay?
No matter what, if number 2 runs a wheel, he is not going to get a wheel call.
Right.
Nobody. So now, if 2, whether it's a back, whether it's a tight end, matter, he's post all day, drops his flat, guy runs through it, go. Guy goes vertical, linebacker has him.
Gotcha.
Wayside, again, the
What's that
weakness,
safety doing if you're getting 2 verticals there? I mean, that corner.
he is going to try, he's going to zone turn, and then linebacker's got to buy him time, and if the ball's thrown, he's going to break back late.
He's gonna try to split the difference.
Yeah. Obviously, that's the other thing, when they're trying to do it, most of the time, this guy will get outside the numbers,
Uh-huh.
and that allows you now to come back inside a little bit more. obviously middle of the field.
And you don't make a double call, I mean a single call very much, so this is all kind of.
Yeah, well, that's what Mark says. Really, we play 2 the first day,
Uh-huh.
but then we don't ever do that to a one-back set every game because we're always playing blue back or 5 or something else if you come out in one-back.
Okay, but it's good for us to know.
Why
What's
couldn't
that
you play
backers
Why-
drop, coach?
Huh?
What's the backers drop underneath?
He is vertical at 2 wall,
Just wall 2.
and basically wall represents curl for us because, and this is why we say what we do. Two wall, because he comes up to stop, I'm taking my eyes and my hands to him, because you're going to vertically. If he works outside, I'm wide my wall to 1.
Okay.
It's like,
Our vertical hook. It's our vertical hook off of stab.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Could you play him in the curl and zoom that weak safety to the flat?
could,
To
just
get
depends on who it is. Now, see, here's the problem. If you're in a tight call, the Sam linebacker is in the A gap. So you get play, which is the hard part about the 2 vertical, play action. The reason we just never play this, and this guy probably plays it, again, not trying to coach it up too much. Really depends on they're in the middle of the field and what you're getting, by what you get, and they get a feel for it. Again, not trying to, give them a 6-inch read step, and that's why the whole term of how I coach my guys is don't go till you know. I can tell them a 6-inch read step. I can tell, do I want to work on
You're doing all right on
how my steps are, or do I want to work on playing football?
Yeah, she's still rolling.
And that's the whole, what you're going to find from me is that we want to be technically sound, but the thing is, I don't want to spend so much time on being technically sound that again, what he said about you coach it so much that you can't play. That's why we're an attacking close team. Well, we went from a read, because in read, when you're a read, you got all these different kind of blocks. How do we play a read on a defensive tackle? High hat, low hat, if they block down. If I can get around them, I'm backdooring. If I can't, then I'm whipping around. That is the only way we're coaching them. On a safety, I'm a curl flat player. 3-step, I don't go till I know, and I'm to try to take away the passing lane. Don't go till I know also means I'm not dropping anywhere till it clears the first back. Young free safety, I can tell you right now, I'll show you when we get to the screen, third free safety's only played 4 days of free safety. He's playing pass before he's playing run. You can see it in his speed.
Right.
Yeah. Now you watch the starting free safety. His ass ain't moving, and they're having to count for him on the inside 8 zone play to the pitch.
Okay, let's go.
Now you looking at this like you're seeing this as a one-back set, tight end flanker.
Well,
set.
again, it don't matter
It doesn't. Okay. Then.
because I'm looking at this as just one side of the field.
A tight end flanker side.
Whether
to the
this
back.
guy's in the backfield,
That could be formation in the boundary with a wide call reading right.
right now you shouldn't call it Sam and Mike. We're right now because we know it's reading left. We know this is a wayside linebacker with a pro look. You follow me? You can never get a trip slip because if it was a trip slip, that's where we'd be reading.
Right.
But I guess I'm talking about one-back tight end flanker, just like the set you have
Yeah.
right there. You would still play that. Would you check 3, or you would just?
No.
You would still play your coverage.
Yep. Now, most of the time, we won't ever call Robert against us across the board.
Right.
But the first day,
That's
we
what
are.
you're trying to do.
When
And
you
gotta
come out
stay
11
in.
personnel, now, New Mexico State, give you a great example. You put that weak safety up here where he can show a smoke, that tight end never went out in their protection. So guess what? I didn't have to play quarters.
Right.
My ass showed up here, we got underneath the flat, and got him to check, and we played 3-on-2 over here, and you got what you wanted. Now, Rice, okay? Rice plays a lock call back here. And what do? They line up, and they line up just like this. If the guy goes vertical or out, it's just like our Bronco call. Only they don't line up deep, they line up out here. We actually call this buzz. If he does it, I got him. If he does anything outside, I'm going out here. What they're giving up is the comeback route. Because if they go vertical, he's got him vertical, and this guy's sinking, and there's nobody in the flat.
Right.
Because Rice don't ever play press. That is their lock call back here.
what you're counting on is that number 2 not to come out with that weak safety up there versus one back.
He's also counting
Now-
on that he's not going to.
Willie, you're gonna see, I don't know if you see
Not
on,
gonna play
well,
this
you won't,
coverage.
because I don't have practice one.
Right,
When our-
right, I understand that.
when our
But
offense
it can
lines up,
happen though.
yes.
They can release the tight end run.
When our offense lines up the first day in pass skill, they're gonna give us this.
Right. And
That is the way we're gonna line up. Since it's a twins, he's gonna be on the outside eye, 5 yards off the line of scrimmage, because that's his rule on his side. Because that's how these outside 2 safeties line up.
Right.
Now, is that worth a shit? No. But the first day, if they go 4 verticals, and I told them before we even started pass scaling, or even in meetings before on the field, they do it, linebacker, we're gonna teach you to run vertical. Corner, you're gonna have to learn the inside and break late.
right. Mm-hmm.
Are we ever gonna play it after today? No.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I don't get a chance to teach my weak safety to drop to the flat very often versus one back. He doesn't get very much work. So the first day, he doesn't get very much vertical work.
Because it don't happen. after
Because-
that, yeah. Or
so-
you're in a different coverage, yeah.
Yeah, so we're always in blue or 5 or some or man back here. So the biggest thing is the first day, because for me, whether they think so or not, I'm not out there to win or lose pass skilling.
Right.
Okay? It's like they don't like that half skilling that we drew up there before because it's a win-lose situation to them. For me, it's you're throwing more balls, I'm getting more breaks. That is what it is for me. It's because if I was on the offensive side, what I would be teaching versus robber coverage, if I were running an out and curl, which is what robber coverage is built for, I'd be teaching my quarterback to throw to the outside shoulder away from the robber, and I'd be teaching my wide receiver to work back outside and beat the coverage instead of just running out and curl. You follow what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to teach this coverage for, just like you guys do. We're going to teach this coverage because I need to put this in the first day,
Yeah.
not because this is what we're going to play on a daily
Right.
basis.
And it's a great stress teacher. I mean, you know, you've
Well,
covered.
it's the
it.
worst thing
Right.
again.
Yeah,
Practice,
it's the
hey,
worst
practice
thing.
worse than life. Because what are you going to do if they came out and you called cover? Let's just say I did call cover 2, and that's the running back.
Exactly.
And they were in
Right.
20 personnel.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's why we call 2 blue sky,
Right. I handle that.
because we'd be back in blue if they come out in this,
Right.
and that was a running back.
Mhm.
But since I just called 2, I got caught, so this is what I got to play.
Okay. Take us to another tight end back here.
Okay?
Automatic sky support,
Yeah.
okay.
3x3, you said, week 60?
Swing deep at 2.
Swing deep at 2. same
Rule hadn't
thing.
changed.
Right. Back to corner now.
Vertical, he's an inside half, vertical number 1, just like he was, man-to-man clue player. So if he comes up the field, he's got him.
Runs a post or whatever.
Yep, he's got him. Even if, again, if it's 2-back boot, because vertical's going sideways, vertical's going sideways, I'd squeeze it unless this guy was real flat, just like the free safety's rule. So what I'm getting back to here is whether they're wide receivers or tight receivers, it makes no difference.
Okay.
The man-to-man clue rules and the vertical rules always stay the same, unless every once in a while you're going to have an exception, but usually it's by game plan that happens. Because if you want to see crossing routes, you wait till you see the man we got now that came from the Dolphins.
Now,
They're picketing crossing routes. I mean, it's,
Okay.
now out of our back, he would squeeze that if he went behind the linebackers, just like you just said. Correct?
well, if it went up to 8,
if he went up to 8, okay.
because what the linebacker's going to do, play action, okay, pass shows, linebacker opens, just like he did when it was a pro set. Okay, he opens, guy tries to work, I'm going to try to work him in my wall.
Free safety's checking twin guy, he doesn't go vertical.
He's checking
I'm
tight
looking
end.
for that tight end coming.
Yep,
So I got a guy over the top and I got a guy looking for him.
yep, and he's looking for swing deep at 2.
Front side backer
That
there.
wheel comes
Read
out.
side
Middle
backer.
drop, he's the middle drop guy.
Middle
Boot
drop.
happens, start to drop, pull the chain. He's
No matter
second,
who you're playing.
no matter who we're playing.
Okay.
Okay, you can.
Now, if that
second
corner
and
is
Sounds
third.
like
definitely
it's
going to check
gonna be
that
a lot
wheel.
easier for the linebacker.
No, it's
All right.
easiest coverage package in life for linebackers because they don't walk out of the box and the rules stay the same. What? I'm sorry?
I was just saying, that weak safety is getting hard run at him.
Yep.
Okay? You may lose him. Is that backside corner going to check that number 2 coming out on the vertical?
No,
safety's
because
got it.
here's the key. He's reading the tight end hardball. Tight end release.
He's got
Weak
pass.
safety better not be going anywhere.
Let me tell you.
Okay, he's keying. Okay.
Yeah, what's that weak safety key now? He's keying.
Now, no, I'm not. We always end man to quarterback.
Okay.
So we're looking through it again. I'm going to do it in that diamond drill.
On 3x3.
Yep, in 3x3. He releases right now. He don't because you got a 7
That
technique.
diamond drill's like what I'm talking about.
Right,
I talked about
right.
it, did all the time. really.
Triangular.
Yeah, it's a triangle.
Yeah, that's what-
Okay.
Okay, he releases. I don't go anywhere.
Okay.
Okay, if he blocked and they were trying to get, I teach this guy, he blocked, and this guy tried to run by me, then I'm gonna tackle his ass.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Let's say you were getting the power right there, tight end down blocks. Am I aggressive? I'm going in there.
Yeah,
Where am I trying to meet him?
I'm gonna try to dot the I. I don't try to keep my outside arm free. I'm gonna try to dot the I. Biggest thing in this whole defense means I'm gonna try to hit him head up and then keep outside leverage with my arm.
Okay.
I don't want to come in like an old outside linebacker where I came in and
Embrace
this.
Okay.
Now you'll see him do it, but that's not what we teach with it.
And that's really the only time your corner better be ready to fit up in there and run, right?
That is, and again, because it's a sky look, outside guy, he's pitch, I'm quarterback if option shows up back here.
All right. Now, the next thing there is on that corner, what do we say, 7 yards deep,
Right.
inside shoulder or outside shoulder, dependent. Am I flat-footing?
Yes,
Okay.
if the tight end blocks.
Because I'm
tight end
nothing more than a
releases.
free safety.
Basically, he's like a free safety back there.
So am I flat-footing? No, do I go?
Yeah, but we put him in a corner stance, and then what happens is he's reading tight end right now. If tight end starts,
In other words,
stop.
nothing against Willie. It's our corners have been little tiny guys, but we'll have hard run at us, and anytime we're on the backs, a lot of times our corners are backing out of there,
No, we won't do that.
and then, they're coming up a little bit late.
Not
But
the
these-
older guys. In fact, that is something though that do because that's what they do all the time. This is one thing that the corner coach he works on because that's all he has. Really, this is the only run force deal that he ever really has to work on besides the crack rule.
Right.
He just has to work on this because of that's the only time he really gets caught up in all this.
And just that, not getting off the track, but when you do work that, is there a time when your corner coach goes and works with the weak safety on that particular thing?
No, we have never. He's usually just used his corner, put an outside corner up there,
And he has to work power, where it's read, and then this where he has to fill up inside.
But that's why when we get into the rest of our coverages, like blue and quarters,
Uh-huh.
why we never ever have it like this if there's an eye back situation. Because we never trained the corner to be that guy.
Right.
In two back, we always will check sky and put the corner back. Always. We never put the corner up. Corner on the backside, now the twins will always be right here.
Right, whether you said 5 sky or blue sky, it's going to be a sky versus
Yep.
an upside tight end.
Unless it's 3rd and 10, like playing Notre Dame,
Uh-huh.
and in 3rd and 10,
You're
they're
going
going
to
to
call
run the
sky
ball.
then.
So I called 5 solo, and we'll get back here. I'm not calling sky, and I'm getting him back here.
Right. Okay. All right. Any other points you want to make on? I think we need to break here and go to dinner.
Only thing probably we need to do is talk about trips.
You wanna
So
talk
then,
trips before we go?
then Robert coverage is done.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep. Trips. So we got to talk read side of trips, correct?
Correct.
And then also away side.
So if you called cover 2, and it's not going to matter whether we call 2 blue or 5, okay? Whether you motioned out of the backfield to trips, or you lined up in trips, or came any kind of getting to trips, our family check for any of these 3 coverages on the read side, okay, is check roll.
Okay, wait a minute. 7, green, and
And I think that's a deep call for you.
okay. Explain it, and we'll tell you.
Okay. Well, listen.
Doesn't
to
matter any kind of trips.
Number 1, as soon as this side checked roll, okay,
Okay.
you got to understand, this side back here is playing the coverage that was called. So in this case, we were just playing cover 2.
Right.
So back here, this side back here is in cover 2. So who is weak safety got swing deep up here?
2.
Which is the back.
Right.
Okay?
Yep.
Linebacker, the way side linebacker has vertical of 2.
Vertical wall too.
Okay? Still a pitch player because he's a force player.
Right.
Not a great coverage versus trip 4 again, a 4 wideout type situation here. But first off, linebacker changes because his number 3 changed.
Okay.
He's not a tight end. If this was a tight end, he wouldn't have to change much.
Right.
Now it is. He has to split the difference. And usually I think Mark uses the tackles outside foot rule. Take away the hot, still defend your gap. Okay?
Now, will he ever do anything to help defend his gap? Say he has a
Tell the
three
guy to go in
technique
there?
Yeah.
We have done it. We don't do it as a general
Okay,
rule.
gotcha.
If I thought, with this and I thought we were going to get that, I could call a Tim call
Okay.
to where I got double 2s and then you didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, when I ran this a little bit at Pitt, anytime that guy had a widen, if that guy was a 3 technique, he would make a, what do you guys call it when he goes inside?
tag.
You just say
Here's the
tag.
kicker to that. Most of the time with 4 wideouts, we're canceling gaps anyway. Either we're slanting or we're twisting. Because we know we're going to be in a 5-man in the box type situation somehow.
Okay, I gotta write that note down. Any 4 wide receivers, you are usually slanting or twisting?
Yep. At least one side or the other or both sides.
Gary, he's not going to go outside the tackle's foot. That's
No, he
the
could. It just depends on the split. He just knows. Now, what happens now is when we check roll, and this is why I told you that I'm not going to call blue quarters, because roll is our true quarters. Meaning we're both going to be backpedal players.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, now wait a minute, go ahead now, okay.
Okay. Strong safety alignment. His alignment's the same. 1x7 on number 1.
Okay,
Strong safety alignment comes out, counts out outside in, so he's lined up on number 2.
same alignment,
Yep.
okay.
The only difference is, now we haven't talked about blue yet, but he's going to play like blue. Instead of running the flat right
Real
now,
flat.
he is going to beat on number 2, not to allow 3 verticals to stay on the same level. But in roll, it's just like cover 2. If option would show this way, I am the pitch player, I am the quarterback player. Okay? Now, what roll does for the read side linebacker, okay, it now tells him he does not have vertical at 3 any longer.
Okay.
I am just a wall player. I will carry him.
Let me go back 1 second. What's your free safety alignment?
He will split the difference between 2 and 3 and then take a step to the inside to 3 because that's the nearest threat.
Okay.
12 yards deep. And I don't know why, but my older free safety started to get up where he's starting to play at 10, which makes him about 12 because these guys are off the line of scrimmage. But he, like, older players get more confidence and they start playing a lot tighter to this thing.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay? Now, going from the outside, inside, still, because in roll, swing deep to 3, just like in cover 2.
Oh, same thing here?
Reach side safety, swing deep to 3.
Okay.
Okay? If everybody goes vertical, obviously how they're going to do it. The way you want to do it is zone turn,
Okay.
try to split the difference. He's got a back pedal weave on the shortest throw. What you're trying to do is work inside out. You want him to throw the outside throw.
That's right.
Now, we don't play roll very often, but it's a great change-up because most of the time we know they're in this and we got a solo or something to kind of check this playing with this thing.
Uh-huh.
But that's the way we would play this. Now, no, not counting what number 1 did. If either 2 or 3 does not go vertical, they sit down. So let's just say they're going to sprint out. And number 3 runs a 5-yard out.
Okay.
I started in a back pedal, and now I set it down, and I'm looking to 2, and I'm robbing it.
You're back to Robert.
So now they run the sail route, I'm robbing this. Now what happens is roll is the corner plays it like cover 2. He's a man-to-man clue player. So if you got this and you got a post route, he has post all day.
Okay.
That is us.
Now let's just go back before it was trips. If it was twins or pro, that's strong safety. If he gets sprint out, is he doing the same?
He goes to the flat right now.
Flat right now. So that's normal old Robert coverage.
Yep,
And
flat right
here-
now. And
Here,
that's
if he got sprint out, does he go to the
flat right now. Flat right now.
Okay.
Now you're hanging in the curl because you don't really have anybody there. If
Who's hanging in the curl?
what you're giving up the curl kind of because
Right.
of running to it.
Right.
Unless they did something like they sprinted out and they gave you so that you could have a guy in the curl, but I mean they may do
Right.
something where they go,
Sure.
Right.
they run this, now see they got you by, and he's got it, now what has to happen is, which this is roll beater, this is quarters beater right here, vertical with, basically the same thing as beating 3 deep with out and curl.
Right.
Well, so what's gonna happen here is what's the corner gotta say? In. So that tells the strong safety as he sees the out to kind of hang
And break late on.
and then break late.
Gotcha.
Rules can go back to the same way it always has gone.
Gary, does that read backer, if 3's running that little out route, does he keep pushing with him? Or just go?
Depends how you want to
If
play
it's
it.
not sprint out, coach.
If it's not sprint out, then what he does is do just exactly what we just talked about before. Quick out, he winds his wall.
2 went away, so the other backer now is, no, 2 came.
This
yeah,
way,
yeah.
he's now opening off his 2 vertical.
Going straight back.
Gotcha.
Again, you got your field placement again.
Okay.
The only difference is you don't know what that guy did in the deal.
And once again, you're not going to play a whole lot of deep because you're usually going to have something that's.
Usually, the time we get caught in deep is if they motion us something quick, what you're not getting three verticals, usually you're getting some kind of outside combination or you're getting run.
Uh-huh.
Which now you're sitting looking at it and you're playing run hard.
No, our check would be deep, so that free safety sees that guy start the motion out there, he says deep, 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 deep. Now, how about an offset back? 20 personnel.
When he,
Go ahead, well, I'll get,
When does it
If they're
become
at two
trips, I
back.
guess is what I'm asking.
on this, he stays inside the tackle,
Right.
we don't call it trips.
Okay. He gets outside.
He gets to where it's a slot like this, we consider it trips
Okay.
unless that,
So
they don't
people
ever
are-
do anything with him, then we, game plan, we wouldn't deal with him like that.
Right.
Okay. Gotcha. Sorry, Willie, go ahead.
that's what I was gonna ask.
Okay. All right.
That's us. So now let's just say,
Now,
that-
let me ask you this
let's
question.
say they're in trips and then they motion the guy
That's
back.
exactly what I was gonna ask.
Go back to two, go back to
Okay,
coverage.
so give me the verbiage. Here you go, you got.
Roll, read and left.
Read and left, oh, you said the coverage
What?
first?
Well, read and left, check, roll, whatever. Read and left, you always gotta say read and left.
Read and left?
Roll.
Roll, 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 roll.
They go in motion. Check two. You're already reading left, so you don't have to
Right.
say it. Check two.
Gotcha.
And the nice thing about it, really, they're already in check two anyway.
Okay.
So if 2 or 3 doesn't go vertical, then you're back to robber
Yeah.
coverage.
Yep.
So the corner, so
2
the
and
corner,
3, both of them? Both of
2
them.
or 3,
Doesn't.
doesn't go
They
vertical.
both can't, if one of them goes, you can't do it.
That you gotta play. Then, if let's say number 3 ran the out and number 2 went vertical, you played number 2 vertical.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. See, you already got them drawn up perfect, so you didn't need to write it out.
You know, done this forever, the robber part. If you ever got something where that guy went way out there, would you ever go read right on that?
In the middle of the field, probably what he would do is he would go freeze.
You go freeze. Okay.
Just like you put the formation in
What
the
does
back.
freeze mean to these guys?
Nothing, we're playing cover 2, and then he's just gonna make sure we can get back in the huddle.
Okay, gotcha.
And then, but again, you go back to, most of the time we're double calls, so we go back to a Bronco call.
What's freeze? What's freeze?
What's freeze?
Could be, say, check 3 if you wanted to.
Check, solid,
Oh, solid check, yeah.
solid.
Yeah, except the other guys are doing the same thing. They're not playing 3 deep across the board.
Yeah, no, these guys aren't. The rest of them are just playing robber coverage.
Yeah, that's good.
Now, I missed it with early with the regular robber coverage. If one comes in on a curl, that corner's gonna make an in call.
And sink.
And
If number 2 goes to the outside. I'm
and
sorry.
2 goes out to the flat, is the strong safety gonna hang in the curl?
No,
he's
free
gonna-
safety's going automatically. Now, he might, with an in call, he could hang a little bit, but on the read side, the read side safety is flat right now, then he hears it. He'll work more outside in than inside out.
Yeah.
Because reason we went to this, we used to hang both guys,
Okay. Yeah.
and we were getting beat to the field side out all the time because we're trying to work curl to flat.
Yeah.
So why it changed was, well, why don't we just start, because we got a curl player, we got the free safety.
Yeah.
So when we have it on the read side, let's go flat right now. And that's what we did.
So when he gets the in call, he's initially thinking, I gotta come back in.
He's got that
I
curl
gotta
behind.
hold off the throw.
Yeah.
But he's also saying 2 go to the flat right now.
Which, yes, and
Kyle,
one of the things I drill
Figure
into
right-
the
right on a
other
piece
thing
of paper.
is to tell them anytime there's
Gary,
something underneath you,
Left and went to dinner at
and there's always something,
7:45.
yes,
We'll be back at
always.
9:30 maybe. Are you guys gonna
You teach-
be able
you
to
teach
come
them
back,
2 in, 3 out too.
Jim?
If 2 is in, 3's coming out, and all that kind
Yeah.
of concept. 2 in.
You mean
3
as
out.
far as, well, especially crossing
When
routes.
you're reading 2 and stuff, yeah.
You know, as I get an older free safety, sometimes
Back
game
after
plan with
dinner.
Robert. Robert, sometimes when number 2 goes in, I actually teach the free safety to look back across the field and rob the other guy coming
Right.
from
I
that
was
side.
gonna ask you that.
But I don't do that.
Do you change what that robber's doing depending on what the team is doing?
But I don't try to mess with that too much until I get a more experienced guy, because go back to that old way, we used to call 3 deep, you know, you played 11 games, you kind of tinkered with it to handle things. End of 11 games, no one knows how you play 3 deep. You know,
So do you play some 3 deep for one?
yeah, I got some 3 deep cutups, but not usually across the board. Mostly it's 3 on one side and
Right, on that
quarters or halves or something, so it's basically 3 strong or 3 weak.
on that one side, are you pattern reading it?
3 deep, having pattern